Mayor. This is fantastic for us. It's a big deal to be able to bring this to you in partnership with the city and the city officials we get a chance to work with. We do serve as the Chamber of Commerce for Williamson County, including Fairview, and again, we're just thrilled to be here this morning. Our team is in the room today from the Chamber of Commerce standpoint and from economic development standpoint, and we love the partnership we have with the city of Fairview, and we've had the opportunity to work on a couple projects in the recent past with you all. I'm sure the mayor will talk about Laystar and Vintage Millworks, a couple companies that created or will create around 60 jobs for the citizens of Fairview, and we recognize that we're all better together. And we win when Fairview wins. And we know this partnership really matters to the residents of Williamson County, and especially to the residents of Fairview. So we love this partnership. We love the work we get a chance to do with you and Patty each and every day, and it's really exciting for me to be able to bring this presentation to you this morning. So I certainly won't delay the presentation. We got a couple different speakers that we're going to talk about topics that matter to the citizens of Fairview. So at this point, it's my pleasure to welcome the Fairview City Manager to the podium, Tom Daughtry. Tom?
Thanks, Matt. I just want to thank Williamson Inc. and everybody that helped put this on. This is not my comfort zone, but we will try to get through this. I wanted to start out by saying, just give a little bit of background, kind of what my philosophy is on what government is, what government's not, some of my experience, and some of my philosophies. And then I want to dive into what I feel like is the city's greatest asset, which is our staff. And then I'll also throw in some projects we have going on within those. And I believe the mayor's going to talk a little bit about development and such. But I'm, I guess, about a year and a half in my tenure as city manager. I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was January 5th, 2022. I became appointed, and it has been an interesting year and a half. Really looking forward to moving forward. We've got a lot done, but a lot still to do. What I feel like the purpose of local government is to provide and manage services in a careful and responsible manner for the citizens that have entrusted the city to our care. And one of the things about our staff is that this just drives me every day is I think anybody that talks to any of our staff, you can tell they care. A lot of people say, well, what do you do as city manager? And I've put it down as two things. The Board of Commissioners, they make the laws, I enforce them, and I lead day-to-day operations. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. There's a lot of other things, but that's what I do. And I want to just give a little bit of my Fairview background. Proud to say I'm fourth generation. Fairview, I've raised the fifth. Three of my kids reside here. My grandson and upcoming granddaughter are going to reside here. So I've got skin in the game. I love this town. Graduated Fairview High School in 1986. Just really have a lot invested here, and I don't plan on going anywhere. Experience with the city, I was hired in 2013, November 22nd, as a finance director, and I have seen the city's finances go from not so advantageous to we're in a pretty good shape now. So I just am excited about the possibilities and opportunities that the city can take advantage of going forward. As far as my philosophy, I am cookie cutter servant leader. I don't believe in micromanagement. I believe it's my responsibility to build a superior team and to let them run their department. Let the department have the room to make mistakes and grow from those mistakes. I've always believed you're only as good as the people around you. And so I try to uplift and push forward the visions that each department has. And another big, two other things is, it's providing resources for each department to be successful, and then to just communicate. We have monthly meetings. We're constantly communicating. What do you need? How can I help you be successful? So with that, I'm going to move into our staff. And the reason I believe this is so important is it's what makes the city go. This is where the citizens can get help. This is where we make a difference. And at the top of the priority list for me, is always going to be public safety. And I'm very proud to say that SafeWise.com rates Fairview as the 8th safest city in Tennessee to live in for 2024. Also proud to say, and I have police chief in here, fire chief in here. Sorry, Chief Hughes. Our ISO rating is 3, which puts us in the 9th percentile of IS-rated fire departments in the U.S. So we're very proud of our public safety. I'm just going to start out with the police department. We have 31 full-time employees, 1 part-time. We have 14 patrol officers, 3 shift sergeants, 3 corporals, 3 field training officers, 1 training sergeant, 1 CID sergeant, 2 detectives, 1 special services sergeant, 1 captain, 1 assistant chief, 1 chief, and 1 part-time school crossing guard. Chief Humphreys is in his 8th year of service with the city. He has brought stability and vision to the department. He is passionate about culture, training, and facilities. We'll get to facilities later. Few police projects that are going on right now. Working on getting a training facility put together. We're also working on the preliminary plans and walls here with a justice center, which will include court and a new police department, which we're looking at this lot right here next door. The fire department, which is our most experienced and most tenured department in the city, has 24 full-time employees, 9 firefighters, 6 engineers, 3 lieutenants, 1 training officer, 1 fire marshal, 3 captains, and I want to say here, all 3 of our captains have 20-plus years of experience. So that's unique, but we are going to have to look at succession planning eventually. But we've got a lot of experience there. And 1 chief. Chief Hughes is in his 12th year with the city. Chief Hughes strives to provide a professional, well-trained, and a community-involved department. Whether it be school events or whatever, you always see a lot of times they'll take the hose down the kids or do different things. They're always involved in whatever activity is going on. They're always involved in events. If there are medical on-call medical staff, if somebody gets too hot at July 3rd event or Nature Fest or whatever, they're always just kind of there and providing that service. Fire projects that are going on. We just finished a fire training tower. It's really neat. If you ever want to see it, ask Chief Hughes. He'll give you a little tour. But it's kind of like a 3-story type tower where they can train on different elevations, and then it also has live burn capability. So they can actually go in with a live fire and get the feeling how it really feels in that instance. So it's a very, very good asset. We just completed the Station 31 remodel, and along with the Justice Center, we're also looking to put a fire station out on the intersection of Northwest Highway and 96. And that's an intersection I'll get to in a little while we're working on. Very excited about public safety, police and fire. They do awesome work. I'm going to move into planning and codes. This is our youngest department. We have 5 full-time employees in 2 companies that we outsource services to. We have 1 administrative assistant, 1 codes enforcement inspector, 1 permit tech, 1 building inspector, and 1 city planner. Griggs and Maloney provides engineering, planning, and review services. Municipal inspection partners provide residential and commercial plan reviews. City planner Ethan Greer is in his second year of leading the Planning and Codes Department. Griggs and Maloney provide staff support and supply invaluable experience and knowledge to the department. Mr. Greer continues to positively develop the department. Ethan's also Fairview, growing up Fairview, Chief Hughes did as well, but he has a heart for this city and is very good at what he does and was thrown into the fire, and I have been so impressed with the way he has handled his business. And he always has time to talk to a citizen or talk to concerned about whatever citizens are concerned about, and it's amazing some of the concerns we have. But anyway, looking forward to that moving forward. I really cherish, or I don't know if cherish is the right word. I really am satisfied with our relationship with Griggs and Maloney. One of the things I like about outsourcing a few different services is you not only have if you have the opportunity to take the experience and knowledge of their entire firm, not just one or two individuals. So it works out real well for us. Some projects we have in planning and codes. We've got the 96 Northwest Highway intersection. We're trying to coordinate that with the fire station. We definitely want a road before the fire trucks need to go out and go to fires on that end of town. We're also working on zoning ordinance rewrite. Most of y'all have heard of the Coda Palooza. It has started. We've got 2 meetings today, another meeting Wednesday, and then close up Thursday. So if you're interested in the news on this is huge going forward. This is an opportunity for Fairview to grow like we want in a healthy, productive, responsible way. And there's a new zoning ordinance that's going to help us do that. And it's also, I want to throw a plug in, it's Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative are hosting this event and helping us with the rewrite. We're also working on finalizing our ADA transition plan. And the last thing I wanted to say, and this is, we have 3,115 approved new construction units that have been approved. Some have started construction, but the majority have not. Go into parks. We've got 6 full-time and 2 part-time employees. We have 1 maintenance crew member, 2 naturalists, 1 programs coordinator, 1 maintenance supervisor, 1 director, and 2 part-time park rangers. Parks Director Keith Paisley is in his 25th year with the city. He brings years of knowledge and experience to the position and is a resource to all departments. He is excited about the opportunities for growth in the park system and developing community-based park programs. One of the departments hit hardest during COVID was the Parks Department, and we are diligently trying to build that back up, provide the summer camps and things for our citizens that they really enjoyed in the past. Projects, we just completed the Treehouse Playground project. We had a ribbon cutting Saturday at Nature Fest. That was a big success. We're also working Kimley Horn on historical village design. This also includes some smaller engineering projects, including our welcome signs. They need to be updated. The Bowie Perimeter Trail Bridge down on the Bowie Hollow side, and Veterans Park dam work, and then anything else Keith can come up with that we need to have engineered. Moving on to Public Works, we have 6 full-time, 5 crew members, 1 operator, 1 director. Public Works Director Todd Bratcher is in his 19th year with the city. Todd is the expert on city infrastructure, and his crews work tirelessly for him. His short-staffed department continues to be amazingly productive under his leadership. If you want to know where any utility line is in the city of Fairview, or where any easement is in the city of Fairview, Todd knows. So it's really nice to have his experience in that aspect. Projects with the Public Works, we have American Rescue Plan stormwater improvements that we're working on. We should be wrapping that up on time. We have the largest street resurfacing lost my word there. We've got several streets we're resurfacing. We've got Chester Road, we've got Horn Tavern Road, Old Nashville Road, Crocut Road, Glen Haven Drive, Northwest Highway, Taylor Road, and Castleberry Farms subdivision. This we're hoping to get done by the first of the year. We also are going to replace all the stop signs in Castleberry Farms, and that should be going soon. Moving on, how am I doing on time? Okay. Finance, we've got one clerk, one director. Finance Director Ben Knox is in his second year with the city. He is my replacement, and I have had the joy to get to train him. Still a little bit of training to do, but he has obtained his Certified Municipal Finance Officer accreditation. He is mastered accounts payable, accounts receivable, and payroll. He took the lead on this year's financial audit, and he is training on account reconciliations and budgeting. So he will be very involved in budgeting this next year. Projects in the finance department, excuse me, is the fiscal year 24 audit, the fiscal year 25 amended budget, and the fiscal year 26 budget. Court has 3 full-time and 1 judge in their positions. We have 2 administrative assistants, 1 court clerk, and 1 judge. Now, the court clerk and the judge are elected positions. The court clerk is a 4-year term, and the judge is an 8-year term. And really, their biggest project is looking at Justice Center with us. And we're moving down there. It seems like we've got a bunch of departments, but we've got a lot to do around here. Administration and economic development. I've put an economic development that I'm really excited about building this department. I feel like it's going to go hand in hand with planning, hand in hand with the zoning ordinance to get us where we want to be. It's not, economic development is so wide. There's so many disciplines. And of course, from a finance background, I'm looking forward to providing funds for projects that the city wants and needs that our revenue will probably never be able to sustain. So we're looking at grant writers, grant writing position, project manager type position to go along with Patty, who we hired this year, who has done an excellent job building unity with our local businesses and getting our status on certain projects, Highway 100 widening, I don't mean to steal your thunder because I know you'll go into this later, but in the Highway 100 Cumberland intersection with our light there, getting us coordinated, getting us going, and we're still in the early stages, but I can't wait to see what that department does for the city. I believe it will pay for itself over and over and over. We have 4 full-time employees. We outsource our IT. We also have a city attorney who is just by contract. 1 community relations coordinator, public information officer, 1 city recorder, 1 economic development officer, 1 city manager. Keystone provides our information and technology services, which I really like. It's kind of like the engineers. I mean, it's better. It's been my experience when I've been here. Anytime an IT person leaves, they take all of the information and every password. Nobody knows how to get into anything. So I feel like this is a really good relationship, and they do a great job. And we've got probably our IT is so much farther along than it ever has been since I've been here. And so I really credit them for that. Also, I just want to go through Richard, Rachel, and Patty just a little bit. They're kind of up here with me. Richard is in his 12th year with the city. He handles social media and website postings, event planning and administration, and Nixle messaging. And I want to do a plug here for Nixle. What we're really pushing for to get information out to the community is sign up for Nixle email. We can shoot you an email about things that are going on, road closings or anything that's happening. We can shoot it to your email, and you can also get it on text message. But the email on events and things, I think, will really work. Right now, we're reaching 3,100 citizens, and we would love to have it closer to our population down the road. Mr. Ross is post-certified officer and provides additional security at City Hall. He also wears many other hats, but I'm going to stop there. Rachel Jones is in her 6th year with the city. She's our city recorder. I think she may be more OCD than I am, but she's very organized, keeps me on track. Meetings run so smoothly. She's good at her job. She administers meeting agendas and minutes. She handles records requests and is the custodian of all city records. Patty Carroll, Economic Development Officer, is in her 2nd year with the city. She works to enhance the quality of life for city residents by identifying areas of economic strengths and weaknesses and developing strategies, policies, and plans to address and improve the city's economic development. I can't wait to see what this department does for the city. I have high aspirations. Projects going on, we've got with TDOT, Highway 100 and Cumberland intersection. Also looking with Wold, renovating the lower level of City Hall. Once we get court and the police department over there, I'd like to move economic development and planning and codes in this building on the lower level. Looking at the future, we always look at the future every day. Everything we do today, impacts tomorrow. We've got a lot of facilities updates we need to do. This building was built in 2001. The only other facility upgrade we've had has been the fire station in 2010. Everybody's busting the seams as the city grows. We provide staff to provide services, and we're just out of room. We also need to update the 2040 plan soon. We need to keep addressing transportation. I feel like the Economic Development Department will be, and Planning Department will be play key roles in this. Also, our infrastructure, we need to continue to develop our relationships with Water Authority of Dixon County, keep good relationships with Minnesota Electric and also Piedmont. The Water Authority of Dixon County, is going to be huge for our development. So we were really, and we also are working to develop our relationships with the county officials, other officials in the state government, and that's a role that Ms. Carroll's going to play a huge role in, as well as our elected officials. Something we're also going to be working that kind of ties into this, is we're really going to be focusing on the I-40 and I-80 corridors. We keep our day to day, but we're always looking to tomorrow, and we try to do the responsible thing. But we made mistakes, but we try to correct them the best we can. But I appreciate everybody's time. I know I'm pretty sappy when it comes to our team, but I could not ask to work for a better group of people here at the City of Fairview. Thank you.
Wow, what's left to say? Great job, Tom. Another round of applause. I mean, let me tell you something. I've been involved a long time, and I have to say we have the best city manager that we've ever had. So that was awesome. Awesome report. He, was so good at finance, and it was awesome that we chose to bring someone in as city manager that has a finance background, because finance, if you're not doing that right, then the city's not doing well. So I just appreciate everything Tom does, and he's trained Ben, and Ben's just taken right over, doing well, and Tom's there to oversee that and also to be our city manager. So it's just a great combination. I'm going to go back in time a little bit. Tom talked about the staff, and I tell you, we have the best staff ever. But I'd like to go back in time a little bit to kind of tell you where Fairview was and where we are today. I've lived here a little over 30 years. I moved here in 1994. Not as many as some and longer than others, enough time to see the changes that Fairview's gone through. So I grew up in Nashville, and big city, and I guess it's a lot bigger now, but it was big to me then. And my ex-husband, his family has been here 6 generations. So when we met, and we taught country western line dancing lessons at the Wild Horse Saloon, which I'm sad is no longer here. But we met, and he said, I would love to own a piece of my grandparents' land. His grandparents, if you are familiar with going down 96 past the ball field, right past that, they owned both sides of the road, and where Highway 96, that was not there then. And it was kind of cool because when the city came in and said, we need to build a highway, he said, build that highway, but I don't want my cattle crossing from one side to the other. So they built a tunnel under Highway 96, which eventually the property that we owned, the tunnel was on there, which was really cool because his grandfather was very tall, so the tunnel was very tall, and we could just walk under Highway 96 to go one side to the other. And also deer like to use it, and he could take his cattle under there and not have to cross the highway. But, being from Nashville, I was used to having all the amenities and the grocery stores and the choices of restaurants. So when he wanted to move out here, I don't know if, some of you may know the show Green Acres. That's how I felt. I was like, I left Nashville and I came out here and I'm like, where am I? I mean, we had no traffic light. We, it was all just very rural country. We had one grocery store, like chain grocery store, and then, like McDonald's, Sonic. Our Hardee's was actually where La Plaza is down the road, and they still had the buffet where you could get the fried chicken. So, it was, I traveled to Nashville quite often to grocery shop or go to restaurants, and, it was just, but it was so beautiful, and it still is. It's so beautiful, and that's one thing we strive for, is to keep that rural feel, but also have conveniences for, our city. So back then, I guess we bought a piece of his grandparents' farm, and, I decided that I just wanted to see what the politics out here were about and try to be a part of that, because being in the architecture and engineering field, I thought, I could give some good information. So we had a little trailer up on the hill down the road here, and that was our city hall. So I got involved, and I just went to meetings and just sat and listened and watched and saw how it all worked for a few years, and then decided to get involved. So I decided to, in 2008, I became a part of the Planning Commission, was part of the Planning Commission up until I ran for commissioner, got elected in, I think it was 2020. I got elected and became the vice mayor. So after that, I was like, I just want something different for our community. I want transparency, unity. I don't want like us to all make decisions. I want the community involved. So I thought the only way I can do that is to run for mayor so that I can have, a choice and a vision and see that through. So I did that, and our community, it's so different now, where we encourage our community to come in and make decisions with us. That's so important. It's not this board that needs to make the decisions. It's the community. And we offer, like the Codapalooza, which, Ethan's doing such a great job. He's amazing. I can't say enough about our staff. When I became mayor, we had a big staff turnover. And I've got to say, I've been involved in city government and our city staff. I've seen it, go from when I started to where it is now. And I can tell you, our city staff right now is the best I've ever seen, I've ever worked with. They are all so, just hands-on and concerned. They spend so much time making sure this community is taken care of and just, putting on. I can't say enough about Richard. We've won the Main Street Media Award for our 3rd of July event 2 years in a row now since he's taken it over. And we have 10,000 people in our community, and we had a drone fly over that did a count on the amount of people we had at our 3rd of July that we just had. And we have it on the 3rd because we want our community to be with their families on the 4th. That's the reason we do it that way. So we had a count of around 29,000 people here. And not a dime of cost to anyone. We had so many people want to sponsor this event that it was totally paid for, where our community didn't have to pay a dime, and our city tax dollars didn't go to pay for any of it. We put on one of the best fireworks shows, besides Nashville, I believe. I love the fact that everything we do, we want community input. And ever since I started, I was like, I don't want to just sit up here and vote on things. We have our children in. We have just had the World Series here. Our U6 team, they came in. We recognized them. Any accomplishment that's at the school or sports, we want them to come in and be, we're televised all over Williamson County, but also we're on YouTube. You can watch, any of our meetings, and it's so awesome when they come in and we do the pledge to the flag together. I'm like, why don't y'all just come every time? Because it makes it so exciting to have, the future generation seeing what's going on, and they're our future, and they're going to be here one day. So it's nice for them to see that. I spent a couple years just going to meetings and watching so that I could learn how everything works. And then going from the planning commission to vice mayor to mayor, it was kind of a transition where I could see, maybe where some things could be changed for the better and some things that are going great. And, it's just with our city staff, we're just, they're always so willing to take care of this community. And I say community a lot because, it's not about us, it's about our community. And we want to hear from the community. With Ethan putting on right now the Codapalooza, where, we're encouraging. And I just want to see more. We'd love to, we had a good turnout, but I'd love to pack the room. We need to hear from our community. And we can vote, but if nobody comes up and tells us what they want or what they'd like to see, and maybe it's something that we didn't even think of. So us all working together is what it's all about. And, I love when the children, I go to the football games. I've been doing that for a long time because I used to take pictures every Friday night. I'm a little pressed for time sometimes with everything going on to be able to do that. But we have some great people that do that for us now. And it gives me time to visit. And the kids will come up and tell me, what they're doing. And it's just, I feel such a togetherness, and it's just so transparent now, where we lay it all out and we let people see what's going on. It's so exciting with our city center that's being built. That vision was a center of town where people can gather and come to know each other. And so with our city center, we've got in the front is restaurants and retail with a center part where our community can gather. And one thing we've thought about that's really important is walkability. That's the reason, our sidewalk project is so important. We want people to be able to walk, and, a lot of the more dense projects are in the middle of town, to where that encourages walkability to the restaurants and the retail and being able to gather and spend time with the community. So we're really excited about our city center project. What I hear is the retail and restaurants will go vertical in about a year. So that's exciting. And then we'll have some we have, like, if you've seen, sort of in Franklin where they have the apartments above and the retail below, that's really a cool opportunity. Also, townhomes in the back, and then single-family homes. So we've got our Justice Center that we're planning right now. I don't think the police department was ever meant to be in the basement of City Hall. I think it's just finances that caused that to happen. So they need their own space. It's not safe to have, inmates all together with the people who, may, like the attorneys and the people that may be, involved in the case. So we need them to have their own space. Also, our new fire department, we need to keep that ASO rating correct. So in order to do that, we have to have 2 different fire departments on both sides of town. We've got great schools. Right now, Jason Golden has said that we're about 70%. So even with our new growth, we're not going to be over capacity. I think they'll be looking in the next 5 years at an elementary school addition. So both of my children graduated from Fairview High School, and my daughter is, and this goes to the education and the teachers we have out here. They are amazing, and they love your children, and they're like their mamas and daddies while they're there with them. So I'm just so proud of our teachers and what they've accomplished. My daughter graduated valedictorian. She's an ER. Sorry. She's an ER doctor and saves lives every day, and learned everything she learned from the Fairview High Schools to college, and she was prepared to do as well as she has done in college because of our schools here. Sorry. And then my son, and the only reason I'm talking about my kids is because I'm just giving credit to our teachers and what the education they got here. But my son, in 8th grade, Miss Reynolds put together this program where they, it was innovative and creative, and then just developed into our mechatronics program. We are the only, Fairview's the only school in Williamson County that has this mechatronics program. And I encourage you to look into it and see what it's all about. My son started in 8th grade. He was the first graduating class with it through the mechatronics program, and graduated with his associate's degree in mechatronics from Columbia State before he even graduated high school. So think of all the savings that brought, not having to pay for that first 2 years and having an associate's degree. Then he went on to UTC. He's getting a business and entrepreneurship degree. But we have a company, and this is what our community has come to. We attract really great businesses now. Laystar, I go to all the water board meetings in Dixon, our water and sewers through Dixon County. And so there was a company that came to one of the water board meetings, and we're very limited on sewer. So when they came to speak before the water board, I said, we need them in Fairview. So I talked to the owner, Michael Hartman, and I said, I think you ought to look at Fairview to bring your business, because we are in the center of I-40, 840, Highway 100, Highway 96. We are 30 minutes from everywhere. So you can get to Nashville, Franklin, Dixon, all the major cities around us in 30 minutes. So it's just, we're just right there in the middle of everything and provide good opportunity for people to get places quickly. So he took a look at it and said, I'd like to be in Fairview. So now we've approved his business to be here. It's called Laystar, and they work with the Department of Defense, and they do mechatronics. So what's exciting about that is our mechatronics students, they have to have 200 hours with a company who does mechatronics to be able to graduate with that degree. They were having to drive to Spring Hill, work at, I call it Saturn because I worked there at one time, but it's a GM. And then, go out to Smyrna and work with, Amazon and Nissan and just different places that were over an hour from here. And Laystar now coming to Fairview has offered our students in the mechatronics program to do their learning hours here. So they don't have to travel away from their community. They're going to be right here, and this company is offering them that. So it's so exciting. And we've got the Millworks company that's come, and just we're attracting businesses that will provide jobs for our community. And that's exciting because we can stay here, we can work here, and we can spend our money here. And that helps, when we do that, that helps our economy. So I just, I love the fact that, like Tom was talking about our staff. I have been involved since 2008. We have never had a police force, a fire department, or a staff like we have now. They are always willing to help when the community calls, and even, even our board. We're all unified now. It's not a separation of community, our board, and staff. I have always felt like it's three different units. I don't feel that anymore. We are one. We work together. We want our community input. Our staff, I can't even tell you. I don't go by a clock. If an idea comes to my head, I want to call somebody. And I'm a night owl, so I typically go to bed about 2 in the morning, and I get up at 8, so 7, 8, something like that. So when an idea comes to my head and it's midnight, I start to grab that phone because I'm so excited. But I look and I go, nope, I can't call somebody that late. So then I have to dream about it all night and talk to somebody the next day. But they're always, they're just always willing to, anytime I ask, anytime I have an idea. And, we've had a great addition of Patty Carroll to our economic development. And, she's like my confidant. I talk to her every day, and I bounce ideas off of her, and she's just, there for me. All the staff, they're just so willing to be there for our community and for me anytime I call. I've never heard, since I've been mayor almost 2 years, I've never heard one person go, oh, calling and she needs me. No, it's never that. It's like, what can I do? Richard's always calling me and saying, Mayor, we've had an accident here. I'm on Nixle, which I encourage everybody to be, but, Richard makes sure that I'm aware of what's going on in our community, because as mayor, I feel like it's very important to be informed, and he keeps me informed, and I appreciate that. And, we've got a young codes department, but boy, I tell you, they're knocking it out of the park. As you see, I know it's kind of wild. Everybody decided to start building at one time. So we have got dirt everywhere. But I can visualize, being in the architecture field, it's like I'd see a plan, and in my mind I can visualize what that building is going to look like, and what this area over here, City Center, I see it in my mind what it's going to look like in a few years when it's totally finished. And it's just so exciting for our community. So I just, I don't know. I love everything that's going on right now. The one thing that I would like to say is we need more community involvement. I really, I know that we're busy. I'm busy. I run a business next door. Mayor, run a business, and, my children are grown, but boy, did they ever grow up. They always need you. So, and with the housing prices, they'll probably always live with me too. So anyway, so maybe we can figure that out. But, I love having them around me. People say empty nest syndrome, and I'm thinking, I don't want to be totally, I'm not married, so I don't want to be totally at my house by myself. I'm not home a lot because I'm pretty busy, but, it's good to have family around, and knowing that my son will be working in Fairview and staying here. I guess our biggest challenge is we've got, apartments that are affordable, and then we have houses that are not. So we kind of have to figure out a balance of in between for, our young marrieds. I mean, they make too much money to be in the lower income apartments. They don't make enough money sometimes to buy a house. So we don't have retail rental out here. And so that's something that we need for our young marrieds, our single moms, our students right out of school that are in professional jobs but just don't make enough yet to purchase that house that, the prices the way they are right now. So I'd like to see, something come that is more an in-between so that we can provide housing so people can stay in their communities. I don't want my son to have to move to a different community and while he's got a job here. I really want him to be able to live in his own community. So we've got to find that balance. And also, we have such great opportunity. If everyone just looks into it, there's so much opportunity for people to volunteer and get involved. We've got our beautiful Bowie Park that, I don't know if everyone even understands the, you get to the playground. One of the things that I had on my list that I wanted to get done before my term was over is to get that playground rebuilt. And what a beautiful playground it is. And it was just such a cool way we were able to expedite that. And the citizens of Fairview, they're the largest donor. And then we have other donors that were involved to get that playground finished. And neighboring community, children, our children. We had Nature Fest just Saturday, and it was a cool place to be because you got to see the children playing. We had over 97 vendors, and then we had great musicians who live in our community. So we have great talent here. But with Bowie Park, we've got the Friends of Bowie Park, and they oversee the nature center and planting and cleaning with our staff. We've got Keith does a great job overseeing the park, but our community getting involved just gives you a sense of being a part of making that park what it is today and how beautiful it is. So I encourage you to get involved and check out what the Friends of the Park do. And then we also have the Fairview Community Theater. So being mayor, when I decided to become mayor, my daughter, one of my daughters, she runs my business for me so that I can be at all the meetings and everything that goes on every single week. But you know what? We need someone there. We need to be present. We need people to see that Fairview's here and they want to be involved and bring back the information and just get what maybe we wouldn't get if we weren't present. Because if you're not there and they don't see you, then you're forgotten. So we need a representation that is willing to spend the time. I have the time just because I'm single, my kids are grown, and my daughter runs my business. And I try to put forth that time to make sure that Fairview's never forgotten and thought of, on the forefront and on everyone's mind. So that's important. So the Fairview Community Theater is a group, these are nonprofits that I'm talking about. They're a group that put on plays. Now, they were doing it at the high school, but it was kind of a large expense for a nonprofit, and they, donating to them is the only way they keep going. So we have now, we're allowing them to use the Historic Triangle School, which is awesome because it's, free to them to use the facility. They have insurance and stuff because they're a 501c3, but also it allows them to do more plays and get people more involved. And if you don't think you're an actor, just get involved. They'll teach you, because I don't have a lot of time, but I've always thought, boy, it'd be cool to be in one of those plays. So the last play they had, I got to be the cab driver that foiled, the crime, and it was just, I didn't have to be there every day. I picked that, or they chose that one small part that was at the end, but it was so exciting to be up on that stage and be a part. So I just encourage, everyone to get involved. We've got the Arts Council, and our Arts Council right now is looking for a home. So if anybody has any suggestions for that, see me or one of them. I'm on the board of the Arts Council. I'm a photographer. But we have, you can get involved in photographer or painter or actor, anything that has to do with the arts. I just encourage you. We've got so many cool things out here that you can get involved in and donate your time and just volunteer. From the park to the Arts Council to the library. They always need volunteers at the library. I go and read to the kids. It's nothing better than going and reading to the kids, and they're just so excited to have you there. We have a state-of-the-art assisted living facility. It was just built. Donnie and Rosemary Cunningham, they built it for their parent. Their parent passed away before they could actually live there. But our parents live on through that. My mom is there. She's just right down the street, and if you've never been there, please go check it out. I checked out many facilities for her, and this is by far, we call it a resort because it really is. They do a great job taking care of our seniors. That way our seniors don't have to leave. Here we go again. They don't have to leave Fairview. They can stay here and be near family. So it's just such a wonderful place to go check out. But and another thing, after I speak during citizen, or after our meetings, we have a round table of the mayor and commissioners. And I always make a comment at the end to help keep Fairview beautiful and pick up trash and not throw out. I think Williamson Inc. was part of this at one time, and maybe our chamber, and then I know that Nancy Stevens had a part in it, but we used to have something once a quarter where everyone would come out and we'd put our little vests on and our grabbers, and we'd just go across our community. And, it was called Keep Williamson Beautiful. And we would go out for half a Saturday, and we had, Public Works, they would kind of follow around, and we would pick up trash and put it in bags and tie them up, and, they'd take them down to our recycle center and throw it out. But it just was a refresh for our community. So I'd like to see that brought back. That's something that I'm, probably going to try to work on. But just community involvement. We want our community involved. We want to hear your voice. We want you to come to the meetings. If you can't come to the meetings, they're televised. So they're on YouTube, they're on Channel 19 with Comcast. You can come here. It's always a fun time. Grab your popcorn and enjoy the show. It's I try to involve the children. I try to, when they have something to recognize, then we want your children here to come up front. They feel so excited. There was a young lady who won the mayor of Biztown in middle school, and I told her, I said, I want you to be mayor for the night. So she came and put on, there's a top hat sitting up there. We leave it up there. I don't wear it. But she put that top hat on, and she was mayor for the night. So please just know this is your community, and we want everyone involved, and we want to hear what you have to say. And our wonderful staff, I can't say enough about our fire, our police. We have the most wonderful police, young police force right now. They're so involved and so excited to be here. And I want the community to know this is your community, and we're here to serve you. Thank you. I get so excited. Thank you to Williamson Inc. for putting on this event. I really appreciate it. I think our community enjoys when they can see us come together and just give them information about our community. And we just are so excited to have TDOT here. And, we just want to hear what you have to say, because I know that we've got a lot of TDOT expectations. Thank you.
So, good morning. Good morning. I'm Sean Armstrong. I'm the Region 3 Director of Pre-Construction. So, I live half my day or most of my day over off Centennial Boulevard, but it's exciting to get out, talk to groups, tell you a little bit about what is going on at TDOT. I do want to mention a couple things before I start. Codapalooza. Sounds like a party. So I'm bringing my cooler, all right? Mayor, you mentioned something very important, working together. TDOT has really kind of turned over a new leaf. I won't get too far off my path here, but we were very much kind of a assembly line, tip to tail. Somebody does this, throws it over the wall, they do it, and nobody really knew the ins and outs of, well, what do they do on the other side of that wall? They were only worried about what their one piece was. We've changed that whole philosophy in how we actually do our projects, build a project team. It sounds archaic, doesn't it? Hey, we're building a team, let's deliver this project. But when it comes to like all the elements that go into a project, the environmental piece, the traffic modeling, road design, survey, right-of-way acquisition. There's a lot of elements that go into play and how that really all comes together within a team. It's really a sight to see now in our office. I go down, we have 3 floors, I'm on the 3rd floor, but our 2nd floor is all the development teams down there, and it's a buzz. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it is a buzz. Monday and Friday is kind of a ghost town because it's our work from home days. Not me, I wish I had it, but it's a lot of fun, it's exciting. So I'll get back on track here, but happy to be here. Thank you all again for entertaining me. First thing I want to hit on, got it up here, is just a real quick overview. We released our 10-year plan last December. What that did, it took into account the $3 billion influx of cash from the Transportation Modernization Act, which divided across all 4 regions. So each region got $750 million to allocate towards a series of projects, which was improve acceleration, rural interstate widening jobs, major urban congestion, and I'll hit on that towards the end a little bit. Our statewide partnership program projects, we call it in the SPP, safety and state of good repair, and then in addition to economic development projects. So it kind of really put that influx in to kind of see what we need to focus on, and then we released the 10-year plan. So to talk about our budget, so to give you an overview of what we typically get each year, we get approximately $1.2 billion each year, and we're a pay-as-you-go state, so we do not carry any debt, so we spend every dollar of that. That is a mix of both federal and state dollars. So to do this 10-year plan, we have to kind of say, well, how much do we get in 10 years? So 1.2 times 10 is 12. Then we say, well, we got the $3 billion one-time influx come in, so that's where you see that $15 billion there at the end. In addition to that, we also got $300 million that went towards our state aid program. So that was actually a 15-time increase for our counties to go through our state aid. state aid routes, bridges, and those areas as well. So it's exciting times with the department. And one addition to that is there's also $6 billion in varying grants, opportunities out there through federal share, federal match, to really support multimodal infrastructure across the state. So, Mayor, we've talked some on that too in our past discussions of how it may not be TDOT's got it, but there's federal opportunities out there to leverage that and get a hold of some of that $6 million through those competitive grant opportunities. So how did we do it? How do we come up with a 10-year plan? So we basically re-envisioned the project prioritization process with these guiding principles of basically what gets done gets finished. We were very good at starting projects. But when you get to the next step, when you had to fund some right-of-way, and then even the bigger step to fund a construction, that's where you start seeing that chunk of that $1.2 billion just get, and then not as many projects. You realize how many projects can actually go out the door and get constructed. The good example is probably we widened I-65 North up in Robertson County, about 10 and a half, 11 miles. That's about $150 million job. When you look at that $1.2 billion and start pulling out each little phase for preliminary engineering, how much comes out for right-of-way, and then you divide it across the 4 regions, you start really, Region 3 is pretty much left with about 160 or so $1 million to go towards large-scale capital improvement projects. So just, we get 1 or 2 good big projects out of each region each year to do these types of jobs. So basically went through all that, I call it the sideways funnel, throughout the end to come up with our 10-year plan is what the department realizes is the best way to spend our dollars in the next 10 years. So here's a screen, this is a screen grab of Region 3. You can see it's heavy in the Middle Tennessee, our region is Middle Tennessee, but heavy kind of in all these dots. Well, I want to emphasize though too is you see a hatch pattern on there too. That means there are still projects that don't have a specific code tied to it that still could be program area projects in those counties. Those projects could be a bridge replacement, a resurfacing project, economic development project, safety project, all these other buckets of money that we have that's not really part of the 10-year plan. It's really these other we call them programmatic projects that are there to keep our assets in good condition, keep the road smooth, fill the potholes in that area as well. So like I said, we're funded annually. So how do we start leveraging, figure out how to partner in those areas as well? So there are opportunities out there to through the statewide partnership program. That is where local municipality through getting a grant can partner with the department or use their local dollars and partner with the department. We like to call it open enrollment, like in your insurance. There's a window of time this opens up. You can apply for it through the MPO, through your local agency that says this is the project this community wants, and how we can try to get it either moved up on the list, accelerated to where those phases come into play within that 10-year plan. I mentioned that Federal Highway Administration grants, direct federal apportionments. I do want to emphasize that if the city chooses to go after any kind of major grant opportunity, I like to look at it as, let's say you've got a $100 million project, but I'm only going to go after a $2 million grant. See we need the needle mover, because the other 98 million we've still got to come from somewhere. So go after the large chunk type grant opportunities that are out there. Can move the needle on where these projects can go in at. So everybody's heard of the P3 that was part of the legislation. It's a public-private partnership. And then the identified corridor of I-24 is the choice lane corridor it's being looked at. I'm going to touch on this a little bit. This is actually running out of our headquarters office downtown. But the main thing I want to hit on is that the lanes, the number of lanes that are out there today will still be the number of lanes that are there. We are not taking a lane, we're not taking the HOV lane out to convert it into this choice lane. The choice lanes will be additional lanes out there on I-24. And then you have the choice to either stay in the general purpose lane for free or choose to jump in the choice lane as well. I like that it says Vol Pass, but I don't know if that'll be the actual naming of it. So it's got my vote though. Go Vols. So like I said, the corridor right now is from pretty much from I-840 near Murfreesboro up to probably right when you get close to the inner loop in downtown Nashville. Currently, and I'll hit the schedule here. Right now, there's been a series of public involvement meetings that have been held down on the corridor itself, in addition to a virtual meeting. We're currently still in the environmental phase, but they have presented what we're calling, really technically three reasonable alternatives. One is a no build. That's always an alternative when it goes through the NEPA environmental process. The other two is what we feel are potential options to be constructed. So right now, we're taking public input on that through community involvement, which will lead to the department selecting a preferred reasonable alternative, which will then go to more of a public hearing and a formality set as well. So you can see right now that we're in kind of that between where that little dot is there for environmental studies, but also it looks like the schedule is going to anticipate construction starting in 2027. All right, y'all like, all right, I've heard enough of everything. Tell me about the darn projects in Fairview, right? So Cumberland Drive, stay right 100 Cumberland Drive. So the scope of this job is actually widen 100 to provide for left turn lanes. We would be putting in sidewalk on I always call it the southern side because the way our plans are, it's the bottom side. That's the eastern side for a little stretch there. And the curb ramps and the major piece of it will actually be signalizing the intersection. The current status is we are acquiring right of way. We've finalized appraisals, so offers are about to be made. And then the project letting will be in spring of 2025. So we were here a weeks, a month or so ago, Mayor, and you said, whatever you do not delay this project. We've got the gas pedal pushed down. So we are committed to getting this project out the door. I know it's needed for that intersection. So I just want to really assure you that my best team's on it. We're going to get it done and get it out the door. Next job. So I like to call that job, I got this, the intersection job. That's the code word in the office. This one is the sidewalk job. They do overlap each other. So where we're at with that actually the scope of that will be install sidewalk on one side for approximately 2 miles. That would be from the community center to Bowie Lake. I messed up on that last time. Bowie Lake Road. The current status is we are almost near final. All at right away is almost. I think we got one more track we're about to close on. So we're in really good shape at right away. We're assessing what the water quality permits will be through TDEC and have that assessment done pretty soon. We talked open government, full transparency. Right now, we're trying to assess the funding. We're talking with our multimodal folks right now to try to determine this was funded under a very old pot of money that's kind of started dwindling away. And so we're looking at that big $6 billion pot we talked about. So Mayor, we're talking with our counterparts to see what opportunities we've got to try to get this. Still, our goal in engineering is we'll have a job ready to go. We just need to figure the funding out. But that's why it's got to be determined there. But we're actually working to figure this out so we can actually hopefully keep these two projects bracketed together. The other option is they'll end up being both standalone jobs so we don't delay that intersection job. That is our priority one right now for this community, get that project out the door, get that intersection signalized, and then we'll see how we get the rest of it funded, get that sidewalk connectivity there. The other job is the full widening, which is tied to Improve Act. That is from I-840 to Bowie Lake Road. I mentioned the 10-year plan. I mentioned there's how the funding goes, and it's a fiscally constrained plan. This project, unfortunately, is not currently funded in that 10-year plan. So each year, I do want to say that each year that plan is evaluated based on the needs, how the partnership program comes in, how things can be adjusted. But the intent is that that plan does not change significantly because it allows us to stay focused on what we're going to deliver out the door. The the department is really pushing to really focus in on those jobs that we have committed to, because they are, we have said, we have got the funding for those projects, which is vastly different than a lot of times it'll start. We would kind of wait for the next phase to come in, and it may take 4, 5, 6 years for them. All of a sudden, it's a mad rush to get the plans ready and out the door. Then we're buying right away, and then it just kind of sits again. So this plan really allows our teams to be really focused on getting these projects done. And the last thing I want to mention is an active construction job we have is the paving job from Dixon County line on Highway 96 over there. Eubank's got it. It was let to construction in March. I talked to our guys yesterday, and they said they're going to be starting epoxy coat on the bridges. I believe that's going to be over at I-40. And then paving, you'll start seeing paving start in the daytime hours. So might see some, maybe, well, it just rained today, so maybe this week you see some action going on 96. And with that, I do want to thank you guys again for the invite. You got me out of the office. It rained on me a little bit, but you got me out of the office, but we needed the rain. So thank you again. And I'm sure, Mayor, I'll turn it over. All right.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much, everybody. Certainly, we've got a few minutes for questions. If anybody has any questions from the audience for the mayor, Sean or Tom, certainly happy to entertain those at this point. Anybody? Especially for the TDOT guy? You guys don't want to know? Right? You got to know the office. There we go. Okay. Now you guys have to come up. I'm not answering these. You have to come up.
Sidewalk, curb and gutter section.
All right, we'll do one more question just for a sake of time. Anybody else have any questions? Here we go. Okay, great.
I did want to mention something.
Please.
That I forgot. We have, not mention our Boys and Girls Club. I see Oliver here, and I'm like, please know that we have a wonderful Boys and Girls Club. It's in the basement of the church right now. But they have a great opportunity for our children out here in the summer and before and after school. So check that out if any of the community needs help with their children. And go visit and volunteer. I'm just gonna, I can't say enough. I've been there, and the kids love when people come and visit. But they are looking for a home as well. So that's something that we'd like to provide.
Great. Well, thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. I'll close this out really quick. Again, we're thrilled to be able to bring this to you all in partnership with the city. Obviously, this was fantastic. I think just a couple points that resonated with me. Mayor, when you talked about encouraging the community to come out and help make decisions, certainly a new day in Fairview, I think that's really important. And I think it's great the way that you all take so much pride in city staff. That was so clear in both of your conversations, how proud you are of the work that people do every day on behalf of the citizens of Fairview, and that really came through. So think about that, and great talking about your kids, right? That's fantastic.
Well, I mean, I like talking about my kids, but it's more about
Sure.
we can provide.
And it's a reflection of the education here. I will say, when the Fairview Mechatronics program started, we were lucky enough to be a partner in that with Dr. Julie Oyer when she was at the high school, and we gave $10,000 for outfitting that classroom at the Mechatronics program. And it was so great to come back and talk to those students about what that experience meant, not just for them, but the entire city of Fairview. So I know there's a big point of pride for the Mechatronics program. I really appreciate it. It's really impressive. It's really impressive. Again, thanks Java Jingo for the coffee this morning, Fairview Donuts. We're proud to support them. And thanks everybody for making time to come here this morning. Come to the rest of the events we have, williamstonchamber.com/events. We have 200 meetings, events throughout the year. And we look forward to doing this again next year. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Yep, thanks.